Right now, somewhere in your kitchen, a tiny machine is working all day and all night just to make ice cubes. If you went to almost any other country and opened their freezer, you would not find that machine at all. In fact, plenty of people who travel abroad open a fridge for the first time and feel genuinely confused, like something is missing, even if they can't quite explain what it is. Today, you're going to find out why Americans became so obsessed with ice that it actually shaped how kitchens are built, and the reasons go back to banned alcohol, old hospitals, and cheap electricity from decades ago. By the end, you'll never look at your freezer the same way again. Let's go back further than you'd expect, all the way to the 1800s. There was a man from Boston who figured out how to cut massive blocks of ice from frozen lakes, pack them tightly in sawdust so they wouldn't melt, and load them onto ships bound for places like Cuba, and even all the way to India, where people had never held a piece of ice in their lives. People started calling him the Ice King, and at one point, ice was genuinely one of the biggest exports the entire country had. That early obsession with cold never really faded. It just changed shape over time, waiting for the right moment to come back in a new form. That moment arrived during a period when alcohol was completely banned across the country. Bars couldn't legally serve drinks anymore, so something unexpected happened instead. Soda fountains and diners became the new social hotspots, and the drinks they served were absolutely loaded with ice, partly because cold felt like a treat, and partly because ice did a great job of hiding the taste of cheap syrup and weak coffee. People got used to drinks being almost painfully cold, and that expectation never went away, even decades after the alcohol ban was lifted. And honestly, if the kind of hidden history sitting inside everyday objects like this is something you enjoy, hitting subscribe means you'll catch the next one the moment it lands. Around that same time, hospitals were using ice constantly, packing it around patients to bring down dangerous fevers and to numb pain before modern medicine had many other tools available. Doctors needed huge amounts of ice on demand, all day, every day, and that pressure pushed inventors to build machines that could make ice automatically instead of relying on frozen lakes and slow shipping routes. Once that technology existed for hospitals, it slowly made its way into ordinary homes, and this is where the story takes a turn that almost nobody expects. After the Second World War, electricity in the United States became remarkably cheap compared to almost anywhere else on Earth. The country had enormous coal reserves, and the government had just finished building massive dams and power plants specifically designed to make electricity affordable for everyday homes. That cheap electricity completely reshaped how kitchens were built. Refrigerators grew bigger, freezers grew bigger, and suddenly a machine that ran constantly to produce ice didn't feel like a luxury anymore. It felt like something every modern kitchen should simply have. Now, picture the kitchen of an average European home during that same era. Electricity there was, and still is, far more expensive, so appliances were built smaller and designed to use as little power as possible. On top of that, many European homes don't have a direct water line plumbed into the kitchen wall the way American homes do, and an ice maker needs a constant water connection to work. Without cheap power and without that plumbing already built in, adding an ice maker became expensive and pointless for most households, so the habit never took root in the first place. People simply kept buying small bags of ice from the store on the rare occasions they actually needed it. What's strange is that this one small appliance ended up becoming a kind of silent measuring stick. The size of someone's fridge, whether it has a built-in ice dispenser, even how cold their drinks are expected to be, all trace back to decisions made about coal, dams, and plumbing codes from generations ago. Decisions nobody making them at the time could have guessed would still be shaping kitchens this far into the future. Every object around you is quietly carrying a piece of history like that, waiting for someone to ask the right question. And if you want to keep noticing things like this, subscribing is the easiest way to make sure you don't miss the next one.